Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another reading. Let's see what we have coming up today. So, I have the Lightseers Tarot. What is happening next week? We do have Valentine's Day, so I wonder if there's going to be some love messages here. Or maybe it's going to be something a bit more... Let's see. I'm just trying to pick up and make sense of the feelings that I'm having right now. Usually when I start shuffling, that's when things start coming up. Okay, Page of Swords. This may also be a week of learning a lot. Learning a lot. Maybe you've signed up to a course, but you're consuming information. You're consuming books. Maybe it's like information that you have learned from other people. Maybe it's like a book you got recommended, but then that book recommends you like another book on that same topic. You're going to be consuming a lot of information on one specific topic. And learning about it a lot, and it's almost like you can't help yourself learn about it because it's actually unlocking a certain key in your spiritual growth or some level of like, yeah, in your life. It's unlocking something. That's why you are going to consume a lot of information, and not in a bad way. Yeah, exactly. The Hierophant, spiritual growth. It's linked to your spiritual growth. Maybe there's a teacher that is going to teach you something, but this is linked to it, and that's because this is going to lead to the next level of your spiritual growth. Again, you're on an accelerated path right now, and the reason why I say you're on an accelerated path is because you have asked to manifest something. You have asked to manifest could be a relationship, maybe it's a certain career, and or you know, whatever you've asked for, which is relatively a big thing. Maybe it's like a house, you know, that you've never had before, and you've asked for that. So it's relatively a big thing that you have asked for, even though there's no such thing as a big thing, right? Because it's all relative. But for you, it seems like it's like, oh, I'm stepping onto the next thing. Like I want this big level manifestation. I want that big house. I want the partner of my dreams. I want this. You've set the intention, and what you're going through right now in your spiritual growth is, and I can definitely guess that a lot of you who are asking for this big manifestation are also wanting it quite quickly. You're wanting it. I want it like as soon as possible, right? I'll do whatever. That's the mode that we are having. That I want this. I know what I want, and I want it as soon as I can because I'm not wavering from it. So you have this like intrinsic motivation that has just come out of nowhere, and you're kind of thinking, okay, I have this motivation, and that's because your higher self is giving you that energy and motivation to push you to learn and integrate certain things so that you can become the person to get that big manifestation. Maybe it looks like you have asked for, I don't know, 50k, right? 50k, you are asking for that. And in order to receive that, you're stepping up into this mindset of a person who can hold that level of money, whether that is going to come through your business, whether that is going to come through like inheritance, and we don't know. We don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but you've asked for it. But you also need to step into the version of yourself who's going to maintain it so that you don't lose it, and also it just comes through. And how do we do that? We do that by because the doubts will come, right? The doubts will come, especially at the beginning. Maybe you get like certain random sickness as well. That's also your body kind of trying to protect you from stepping into the next level, right? It's like blocking you, which means there are some thoughts going on in your mind, or just repetitive background thoughts that you need to pay attention to, because that is exactly what is blocking it. That is something you need to pay attention to if you want this next level thing. And that's why you're going to be getting consuming this lots of information, podcasts, videos, YouTube videos, books, and you're going to be isolating for a bit as well. And if that is happening, it's just a phase, but it's getting you to the next level. So you're finding that it's actually accelerated growth. And that's because you've asked for a big thing, so you're going to have to step up to the next thing quite quickly. Yeah, I hope that made sense. I really hope that made sense. But that's why you're facing a lot of tests. Things from the past are coming up which are feeling uncomfortable, because you need to clear them, because you need to make space in your body in your house, in your like current local environment, so that you can call this new thing in. Yeah, that's also another message. Perhaps someone needs to like declutter their space. Yeah, once you declutter, or once you let go of these past patterns, or at least acknowledge them and think, how can I transmute it? What do I need to address? Get your journaling really on top. Ace of Wands, the ideas, the connection, oneness that some of you may not even be aware that perhaps that's what you're searching for. Especially if you've been, if you have been not in a satisfying relationship for a long, long time, if that has been your path thus far. And you do meet people, but it either dwindles off very quickly, it leaves your reality really quickly, or you are just not meeting people who you feel like are going to be like at the same level of like spiritual growth, or not even just same level, just open, they are not even open, or you notice something between them that in them that you think, no, that's, I was like, why did I attract this person again? It's like certain patterns coming up, and my nose is itching, sorry. And certain pattern coming up, and what you think you may be reaching for is a relationship with another person, and that will come. That is not to say that, but what often in the world of manifestation, or things we are wanting to create, often the saying goes that you have to feel it before it has arrived. You have to become the person before it has arrived. You have to just know your worth and let go of all the doubts, and like remove the doubts before it comes. And that applies here. And that applies here because here you are wanting a partnership for a lifetime, probably. A partnership that perhaps transcends all egoic matches that you may have, and transcends all of that, and it's truly based on a connection that is much deeper. And if that is what you're wanting, and I'm not saying that's hard to get, not at all, actually it's not. What I'm trying to say here is you have to achieve that feeling within you before you get it, before that person comes in, the one that you feel connected with. How connected do you feel to yourself? What is coming up right now? What can block that connectedness is what I'm saying. Do you believe that your career, or like, your other parts of your life are lifting off if someone else joined? It's going to hinder that, or do you feel it's going to support that? If you feel like it's going to support that, that's a sign that you might be getting ready. If you feel like it's going to hinder that, you're not going to let that person in. If you feel like, gosh, I've got this like, I don't know, a gym studio to open, there's so much work. How can I possibly have time to dedicate to a new partner, And you can look at it that way, or you can look at it this way. I feel pretty whole in myself, and yes, I have all these things that needs to be done, that I need to dedicate time towards. Yes, true. But maybe what I'm manifesting is a partner who's going to fit into that lifestyle, so they will understand and they will actually support me and help me out in building that, right? That's an option, rather than thinking that this person is going to hinder you, and the person that may hinder you might be the person who is not right for you, who's not going to understand your lifestyle, who's going to be, is not really going to fit into your life. But if you have this other person who's going to already be quite open-minded, is actually, understands your lifestyle, doesn't have to have the exact same lifestyle, but understands it, understands what you're like, and that's what you're putting your mind to at the moment, and that what it requires right now is support in this season of your life. And so that means you can let this person in. It just means it requires a bit of support from their end. So what you need is a partner who's very understanding. So go through this thought process so you can pick up on exactly what you're wanting if you're calling in a partner right now. You don't need conditions to be perfect. However, you do need to clear out the doubts and the things that come up and the limiting beliefs that come up in your mind, because they are exactly telling you where you might be holding love back or not wanting to receive it. Especially people who are starting their businesses, running their businesses, you know, it's always going to be quite a lot to do. It's just always going to be a lot to do. And you can either wait until you build it and then let this person come in. That's a possibility, of course. Or you can build alongside them. Have someone who is super understanding, who is open, which is someone you would want at the end anyway, right? You would want someone who is quite understanding. Yes, you may have the more financial means to just relax a bit more to be able to do that. If you're at that stage, yes, that just would take priority at the moment. But if you are wanting a relationship to come in at the same time, then that support level can be achieved if the person is understanding. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting here, that someone out there might be blocking a person from coming in because you don't feel like you can be either a provider or at a certain level at this point to provide for either both or together. You know, that it's something to do with like financially plus certain blocks that are coming in through those finances or career-based goals, and you can't see how this person may fit in. But they just need to be very understanding and really support you. And you are going to do the same as well, you know. Sometimes it's time for one person to rise and one person to be here, and then it's time for the other person to rise, you know. That's how it works. It's not about, you know, not everyone needs to be a certain power couple who are just going full on, like, you know, at the same time. You just go through the seasons where one balances out the other. So that's what I would recommend to you. If you're calling in a partner, you're like, you know, I would love support right now, to have someone with me who is there to support me and be a cheerleader in my goals, because I know what I'm wanting to create. You know, I have this idea and the vision of how I can benefit the community that I'm in, the even to a level of like international community and humanity even. Like, your influence is quite a lot, and if that is part of your purpose, then the person who's gonna see that and you want in your life has got to be quite understanding, supportive, and absolutely just with you there, right? Because you'll have seasons, and once you have reached certain level of, you know, like a steadiness, then that person can maybe rise. Or, you know, that's what I'm saying here, that don't block it just because you feel like your career is just taking priority and this person or certain people may not fit into it. Have the conversation that, yeah, I'm building this, but what I really need is someone to support me, someone to help me, someone to be there with me at this point in my life, and until we're stable, and then we, you know, we enjoy our day-to-day life, but also then we enjoy all our trips and the abundance that will come after this is all set up. Yeah. And especially if you're in this very wonderful community around you, you have friendships, you have people who you can call at like 2 a.m, right? At 2 a.m, and they would be just coming. That's the sign of people who are really truly valued friendships in your life. You know, you can call them and they'd be there in a minute to help you out, no matter what. You have a fall, something happens, they'll be there in a minute to help you out. You have a tire puncture or something like that, you can call them. If you have that around you and you have that community, you are in a pretty good place, and you want someone to fit into that community, right, as a partner of yours. Because especially some of you may be thinking of like families, starting a family, starting a and if you have a community, it's beautiful. It's honestly so beautiful to have that community who can actually support you in, you know, there's often a saying, it takes a village, right? It takes a village. And the way we are at the moment in this individualistic society, we don't necessarily realize what the value of the village, you know, how having people just to help you out in like certain childcare. And that's not to say, you know, like you don't pay for childcare, but it just means that you just see people around you. That's how I grew up. Like I literally, you know, when my parents were in India and they were like working or, you know, like still building at the same time, like my dad has started a business as well as like having me then. So it was like running a business, supporting the entire family, and he was supporting like my grandparents as well. We were all in one house, and my mum, who was taking care of me a lot. So doing that alone is very difficult, but having a, you know, support network around you is going to make that so much better for your mental health, for just like, and you're adding to the community too. You know, you've brought this wonderful, beautiful little life into this world. So you're sharing this with the community around you. You know, you're having the importance of community is what I'm also indicating here. Having that some, you know, certain group of people who are going to be like quite supportive and happy about it. It's truly a joy, you know, and it's something I do believe that we are missing in our current world quite a lot. Okay, so Hanged Man, something is delayed. Let's see, why is it delayed? Judgment. Look at the green colors. Okay, you're judging yourself about something. That's why it's delaying. What are you judging yourself on? So this could look something like, I should have done that better. I should have been better. And if you watch my readings for the last couple of weeks, I talk a lot about compassion and generosity towards yourself. And it is the key. And I talked about Edwin Manning's teachings, talking about compassion key. And what that is truly about. You know, you're calling in this money, 50K, whatever it is. You're calling in a life partner and asking yourself this one sentence. So saying to yourself, I deserve this big money, right? I do deserve this big money. You say it out of 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you feel, or how worthy do you feel of getting it? Now, in that moment, what comes up? Do you feel like, oh God, but there are so many other people in the world who need money more than I do. Oh my God, but you know, what if like I get the money and other people start asking me about the money, what would I do then? Oh my God, if this happens, there's a block in your life right now. Because I'm pretty sure if you're at this stage, helping your community, doing a lot for your community, making a difference, you need support and you need the money and you deserve it. That's what I'm trying to say. So for example, if on the scale from 1 to 10, you're on like 6, you know, you somewhat believe it, but there's still certain doubts coming up. You want to get it to 10. And how do you get it to 10 is by releasing that judgment, that things that are coming up, you know, asking yourself, why do I feel like I don't deserve it? Oh, because it takes hard work. Okay. So it takes hard work, but then that doesn't make sense because there are some people who are born into wealth, right? So it doesn't necessarily take hard work. So it's not always that, you know, it's not necessarily just always the case. It's not necessarily hard work. It is a bit of strategy, a bit of trust in the universe, and it does involve some level of work, yes, but it's not that you're killing yourself doing it, you know. If you're going out there and getting sick all the time because you're working so much, you need support. We can't do it all alone. We can do it all alone, but we shouldn't, you know. If we don't want to, then we shouldn't feel like we have to do it alone, is what I'm trying to say. We can do it alone, but we shouldn't have to do it alone if we don't want to. So release that judgment, and that's going to give you a lot of answers. Right, let's move on to another deck. Get some oracle messages. Ooh, okay. Lord Ganesh, infinite abundance. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. I love this. I love this. And I even love the next card. Oh my god, so the next card is this, by the way. Very Egyptian vibes. Serapis Bay, Ascension, move into your true self, rise above the darkness, the light is here. Very cool. Okay. It's just even just the cultural references here that are so like, they've been so potent for me, because I relate to both these cultures quite deeply, it seems, and I mean, I am Indian myself, but I've always had fascination with the Egyptian culture, and it's really something I can't really explain. But both of these, you know, both of these cultures do have gold, so I am seeing a lot of abundance here. So someone who's calling in money, maybe that's for you. Often love and money are also linked, so there might be something that is coming together. So if you're asking for a partner, the money and the partner may be coming together as well. And that makes sense, right? Because when you feel like you have infinite support, spiritual support and connections are increasing, like it says here. When you have support, you feel invincible. When you have people backing you up, your cheerleader, pushing you forward, how does that feel? It feels great, right? It feels like you can conquer anything. You can like pursue whatever you want. You have the capacity to push through the hard times much more and much more easily. If you have that support and level of like, you know, just someone who's there for you, someone who's going to guide you. Yes, you can do it alone, I get it, but like you shouldn't have to, right? Like if you can have that support level, it's going to skyrocket your abundance, your ability to go through hard times, your willingness to like, you know, just go through day-to-day hardships of perhaps entrepreneurship, of certain even family life. You know, maybe you have like kids, you how do I get through this? How would I get the money? If you have a supportive partner, supportive team, supportive group of people around you, your growth is going to skyrocket. Honestly, surround yourself with people who are going to skyrocket your growth, because that is exactly what you need to step onto the next level in your life. Yeah. Last cards. Okay. Release. Ooh, good. Okay, release. What do you need to release? Have a think about it. I just put that card on the Hanged Man card, which means that is going to stop the delay. Whatever you need to release, release it, because that's going to get the delay out. That's going to get the delay out. Little by little. Little by little, you're going to notice. You're going to notice some things changing. Notice predictable rhythms. Okay, this is to do with your patterns. Notice what thoughts keep coming up again and again. That includes your good thoughts and your sort of not so great thoughts that are holding you back. Your good thoughts might be something like, for example, you're noticing patterns of just like say like you're offering certain products, right, in your business, and you're kind of thinking like, you know, I didn't want to do that anymore, but it seems like people are wanting this more. So you like finding patterns. Maybe it's in a relationship. You're like, I didn't want to date this kind of person, but I'm kind of being attracted to this kind of person, and that doesn't, and you know, that doesn't have to be in a bad way. Sometimes that can also be in a good way, that you're just attracted to someone who is very compassionate, right? Rather than someone who's a bit more stern and on the sort of like bossy side. You're attracted to someone who is just more compassionate in their way of being, right? They're just very generous and kind. You're attracted more to that than you are to how they look, for example. And if you're noticing that pattern, like if your body feels like, yeah, I'm actually attracted more to that than anything else, this is a sign. So it's time to notice those patterns. Yeah, make a note of those patterns, because they're telling you something. They're kind of telling you pieces of what you are wanting to go towards next. And it will also tell you what to not settle for. Yeah. All right. I feel complete. Yeah, I feel really complete. I feel like there was a lot of messages there. Remember, you're on an accelerated path of spiritual growth right now, and that's because you've asked for something quite big, relatively big in your life. And if you're asking for something relatively big, such as like a life partner, a big business growth, money, or something like that, then you're going to have to be a bit more aware of where your thoughts are going. Really, I don't want to say discipline. It's more that you are just aware. Hey, I'm thinking about that. Why? No, absolutely not. No, this thought is just garbage. Like, this is not helping me. Oh, I'm judging myself here. And remember, try the Edward Manning's compassion key scale of 1 to 10. I write down a sentence. I deserve love. You know, my life partner. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe that it's going to happen? If you're on 5, there's some work to do. If you're asked for money, you know, same thing. You know, how worthy do you feel of having it? You keep working on that. You know, you keep going with that question until you reach the 10. And if you don't, this is where you are going to be consuming a lot of information and learning a lot more, and still kind of priming yourself for things to arrive. Okay, I hope that made sense. And I hope you enjoyed my reading. And I loved in the last reading, whoever wrote down comments below. I love interacting with people and leaving your stories. I love hearing your stories as well. And so, yeah, feel free to leave that again. I will respond every time, because I love hearing stories like that and connecting with people all around the world. So I hope you have a good week, and I see you in the next one.